And the early bird gets the worm in life. And in support of this message, I'll roll out 15 minutes of bonus tonight. I'll be unavailable next Friday, going on a well-deserved vacation next Friday. So for you guys that are devout and kind of waiting around, time is of the essence. Honestly, I just want to thank everybody for always being devout and especially all good. Honestly, man, she's the first one come in here every single time. She's one of those ambassadors of success in this community, and she really does embody what it feels like to be successful and really have that spiritual aspect to life kicked. But I'd like to welcome everybody. For those that come a little bit later and kick onto the live stream, I like it because I think my first title probably scared some people off, which I'm totally fine with. I do that to get under people's skin. That's fine. People need to be jarred from their comfort zone every now and then, and I won't apologize for that. All right. There's a root of vein to why I put that stuff out there, and it's aimed to make you think. That's not my perspective. It's what I observe. And a lot of the times I feel like a lot of people have very, very jaded expectations of social media. Okay. Social media for me is in my bad category on my list of goods and bads in life. Social media, for the most part, if I don't keep it under control, like this project right here, I've admittedly come on to social media many, many times. And I've spoke about how important the lifeblood of the community is, the channel itself, which is made up of you guys. But as far as spending my time on social media, seeking out entertainment or even deeper happiness, I don't do that. I don't. I hit the gym tonight for hour and a half, and that's where I seek out my happiness in life. But I do want to welcome everybody to the fastest 60 minutes. Tonight, we're going to roll out a little bit different approach here, as I've got chucker blocked full some really, really interesting insights that I've kind of picked up over the last week or so. And I want to share those with you guys, because where somebody might look at the title of this video and be like, oh, great, another $500,000 portfolio. I take that stuff really tongue in cheek, man. I really do. I've said before, and it's confused a lot of people, my plan, wealth building strategy has a little to do with the money or the end result, and a lot more about the plan. Okay. I spend a lot of my time doing stuff like this. This is an insight to my brain. Okay. And if you guys want to kind of understand and take a page out of a wealth builder's perspective, and a lot of how I approach a lot of different projects, man, sometimes there's really no escape from just grabbing the pen and the notepad and starting to take what's in here and getting it down on paper. And you'd be amazed at how that starts to formulate and give yourself a roadmap, a raw roadmap. But I'm going to tell you, it works for me. I don't know if it'll work for everybody. And I certainly don't want people to come into the Independent Investor channel and be like, wow, I want to tune into this guy because I want $500,000 too. To say it like that, I almost cried this week when I saw it. Now, we did get within $45, and I couldn't capture the snapshot from when it actually switched over, because you guys need to understand, for you guys, for the last 5 years, I've identified financial thresholds, right? 1,000, 5, 10, 25, 50, 100, $250,000. This so happened to be a really, really large threshold, and it's one for me that I'm almost very humbled. It'll take me many, many days of mental deliberation to acknowledge how long it took to get here, and really start to set a roadmap for the next most elusive of all financial thresholds, and that is the 7-figure mark, the $1 million mark. And I guess understanding where somebody comes from is also very, very important. I do advocate for kind of the in the trenches investor. Those folks like Dividend Driver James, Christopher Blaine, some of these guys that have been with me, Eric Weber, Bob, and all you guys, clinch your 16. I just saw you pop in here. I'm going to get to a Q&A, but not before I roll out my lesson. This will be my live stream tonight. There won't be any guests. It'll just be me delivering my core message. And for anybody who catches these few minutes, this glimmer in time, you're in for a special treat. There's no doubt about it. Because when I'm in a zone like this, you really just need to sit back, grab your coffee, your tea, or your drink, and enjoy. Because what I'm about to give you are the real insights in how I can quantify where I've been and where I am now, and more importantly, where we're going. Awesome. Want to welcome everybody to the Fastest 60 Minutes on YouTube. This live stream we roll out every Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. For you guys that are new to the independent investor opportunity, this is unique in nature. I'm not one of the 1,000 other YouTube channels out there. Okay. I deliver a very, very unique message. I keep my focus on how it is that everyday people can become a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more tactful, a little bit more of a better plan applicator, a little bit better of a thinker. Okay. If 80% of this gig is mental, then it's going to benefit us to understand and put the ample investment into the ratio of time necessary to kind of think and grow rich. It's very, very important. I think all too often people focus on the remaining 20%. What can I physically do? What channel can I tune into? What is it that I can do in the least amount of time to get me to that infinite idea of what I think wealth is about? And I think that's a fatal error. I really do. And I see this all the time, in that people who assume wealth without being mentally prepared, unfortunately, usually end up pissing it away anyway. So, and there's a reason for that. If they're not mentally strong and they don't have that element of understanding how to cope with, how to organize, how to categorize, how to establish buckets. Okay. A lot of wealth builders here in the group who have embarked on this journey, whether it be on their own accord or maybe because they've sought out and gained a little bit of inspiration from my message. That's lovely. Those are the things that you can take away from the message. I give them away free of charge. Okay. Very, very important for you to understand a little bit about my background, where I come from. Okay. And not just tune in and say, wow, this is fantastic. I know the YouTube landscape is fraught with, how much money do I have? And hey, how can I copy what it is that you do? I'm going to tell you what I do. And some of these things might really surprise you guys. I'm a very simple person. And I think that's why a lot of people relate to me. If I was flexible enough, I would show you my bare feet, because I've always contended that wealth building is right up here. It's not in your feet or the socks, or more formally, the suit that you wear that's going to render results. Okay. It's going to be how mentally strong you are. But the fact that I'm a very, very simple individual and I put value in things that I observe a lot of people don't put value in. For example, okay, there might be different schools of thought. And I want to give a shout out right at the top of the live stream to a couple of my buddies. Passive income investor, number one. Matt Money, number two. Here's why. These guys, both of them, in individual ways, have courage to put risk on the table. Okay. And that goes a long way with me. It doesn't mean that they're going to be a great investor because of that acute trade or investment. And it doesn't mean they're going to be a bad investor if that acute trade somehow doesn't work out one way or the other. The very aspect of success there is the mental deliberation that's gone through to prepare yourself to enter into an investment like that. So definitely kudos, man. I always try to earmark those things. There's a couple of things going on that I'm observing in each of their programs that I take away. And when I'm observing another program like Kyle's or Rebecca's, who's also in the gallery here, or Matt, anytime I'm doing that, it's always positive. Always, always. Because if you guys want to know something about me, I spend 99.9% of the time being very critical on number one, me. Me. Okay. I don't waste a whole lot of time saying that somebody needs to do something this way or that way. I don't spend really any time. If I'm looking at somebody, I kind of try to extrapolate what it is they're doing and say, wow, how did they come to the decision to enter into something like that? Okay. So very simple, but in the trenches, I don't spend like an asshole. Okay. Spend wisely. If you guys want to know how I've got to this point, it didn't happen overnight. The hillbilly thing, that's not a joke. It's not a joke. I started from zero. Okay. So the number that I'm going to put up on the screen during the review is by nature of the fact that I have very acute discipline on my credit, my investing, and my savings. Okay, those three things: credit, savings, and investing. Now we can speak for hours, and we do, as this is an infinite topic on the Independent Investor channel when we talk about those three things. But everything that I do to support those three avenues of my financial element has everything to do with the fact that I don't spend money. I don't. You say what you will. I'm a cheapskate. I'm this, that. Now I can justify pulling a 5 shares of Amazon this week, which is what I did. And that I find ironic how we can justify things in different ways. In other words, the politically correct, acceptable charge off is to go and pick out the baddest ass, jacked up truck, full well knowing that you don't even know how to put it into 4-wheel drive, roll it off the lot. You've lost $6,000 off the lot out of your $75,000 investment that you don't need, that gets 8 miles to the gallon. Okay. That's socially acceptable. Everybody's going to think you're the greatest thing ever. When are you going to get that bump and system put in it and spend another 8 grand, right? Opposed to what I've done in the last couple of weeks and put a strategic $75,000 bill into the stock market. I will have you know that many of those were channeling opportunities. You guys know how I roll. Channel those stocks, get those back in at lower prices, and that's exactly what we did. Facebook and Lockheed Martin are the two that kind of come to mind that were real winners. And you think, well, what was the difference there? The difference between the sell price at 313 and Facebook and a reentry at 300 allowed me to buy free shares of Facebook, entering back into it at a larger position before they reported earnings. Okay. I'm not going to talk too much about the earnings. I'm going to leave that to the gents. They do a better job than me jumping into the granular details. The large cap tech really did run into earnings. Earnings were fabulous. Okay. Everybody kind of blew it out of the water. I think Microsoft on the pullback is going to be a nice entry. That's totally fine. But I think expectations were almost unrealistic anyway, which kind of prompted a little bit of a sell-off and a slight rotation today as we saw some of the utilities and some of the, what were the strengths? Utilities I saw with some pretty good strength today, but there was definitely a little shift in the rotation where there was some profit taking. Not from my end. There was no sale at all because some of the strategic moves were more portfolio based. All right, so very important. I value employment. That's very, very important. And if you guys want to understand kind of where I come from and you think, man, $500,000, Ryan's a clown, I can do way better than that. Or, wow, that's incredible. I'll never reach that. I think both of those scenarios you kind of need to do away with. I think it's relative. I think if you're pulling in $25,000, $30,000 a year, can you invest? Yeah, you absolutely can. But don't try to align with somebody else's program what it is that's going to be your maximum potential. Okay. And that's what I always try to earmark on the channels when I'm talking to people. I want to make sure that when they're sitting there with their tea, they're like, God dang, is he freaking talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I have a unique ability of doing that, man. So sit up, pay attention. I'm talking to you. All right. Um, don't follow blindly. Super important. Understand why it is that you do. We do a pretty good job of explaining why it is we do what we do. And I think a lot of those attributes of our deliberation and decision making, you can really take and put to work. But if it doesn't make sense for you, don't do it. Okay. So definitely don't want to be following blindly. That's something that I do. I told you that the vast majority of my attention is on me most of the time. Okay. I do value family. And I know there's people out there that haven't started family yet. If you're going to be happier by yourself, that's totally fine. I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you that that's what works for me. And it's kind of where I get a lot of my lifeblood and energy for. You guys are kind of part of where I find value in life, and associating with you guys means a lot to me. It's gonna feel next Friday when I'm on vacation, I'm gonna be like, man, I'd be normally doing the live stream right now, but I do digress. We need to have a purpose. Understand why we're doing what we're doing. If we're just grinding ourselves into the ground without any type of purpose or wherewithal on why we're doing what we're doing, super, super important. I want to avoid negative. Remember, I told you, man, I just pointed out now, Kyle and Matt, I love them to death. They're like my brothers, man. They're like yin and yang, and both of them are hella different than me, which is great because I would have never met either one of those two guys. But we do a good job of keeping it on the up. And what's interesting about us is we all deploy a different program, but I do see very, very unique similarities, and you have to pay attention if you're willing to see those similarities, because a lot of them are on our mental application and not necessarily the nuts and bolts of what makes up each of our respective portfolios. All right, that's about as good of a compliment as I can give those guys. Okay, that's what I see from my lens. All right. You want to be realistic. Okay. I talked about that. If your end number through calculations on what you can realistically do month over month, if you're that one making that 35,000, knowing what it is that I do now, freak, that's what I'm trying to give you. Because yes, I say value employment. It means a lot to me, not necessarily for the inflow every month, but it's for the peace of mind, the security, man, the dental insurance, the health insurance. What if I get something in my body that's not meant to be in my body? And I need to ask the doctor to cut that crap out, right? That stuff's expensive. Okay. So that's the peace of mind that comes from, but you want to be realistic with your application. And I'm not saying talk yourself off of the opportunity. I'm just saying fine tune it. And when I talk about the actual action plan that I'm going to talk about for you guys, I told you you'd get the goods tonight. I told you. Okay. And for you guys that are with me, you're going to get a special treat tonight. Okay. Because I really have some incredible stuff that I've never talked about on the channel tonight. Okay. Dream and act. Okay. I'm a dreamer. I think about my goals all the time. I envision where I want to be in life. I envision myself down the line, watching my kids grow, being on vacation with my wife. Yeah, I envision myself with that glass of wine overlooking the Mediterranean Sea with my girl. I think about those things. It's part of what kind of keeps me going a little bit. Now, for each and everybody, it's going to be different. Okay. I'm just saying that's kind of the root. All right. This is the good stuff. This is the stuff where you can watch a live stream and it's not freaking forgettable. You know, you can watch it and you can be like, man, all right, this guy is selling out every goddamn second of this sucker, and he's doing it for me. Okay. This is the stuff that makes me happy. Okay. So I'm trying to give it to you guys. All right. And the byproduct, the stuff that I put out on the title, hey, 500,000. And it's supposed to like clickbait you in, and I'm supposed to give you this Alpha Bravo Charlie strategy to your 500,000 next week, right? It ain't going to happen. But what I am giving you is that Alpha Bravo Charlie to success and a whole lot more fulfillment in your life. Okay. Want to be organized? I'm freakishly organized. I'll show you my binder, man. Like when I showed you my notes, that was for real. That's a page out of my playbook. And I don't know if Matt and Kyle, they probably do Excel spreadsheet. I'm old school, baby. I do it with the notes and paper. But that right there, that's all documents, financial documents. I have a leather binder for the LLC. My point is to be very, very organized. And I remember this 30 years ago when I bought my leather bound, I talk about this. But if you're unorganized and you've got crap all over the place and you get mailers all the time, credit card inquiries, blah, blah, blah. I have two. I have two credit cards. One I don't use. It's the American Express Platinum. This thing came in a wooden case. It's the best credit card you can have in the world. I get it because I'm military, not because well, I am kind of special, I guess, in accordance with what they say, but I don't use it. Okay. My other card I have, that's it, right? One debit card, one savings account, 3 brokerage accounts, 2 investment accounts, and a partridge in a pear tree, right? Know exactly what you've got. Have those documents ready and organized. And I'm not kidding you guys, man. If I open this for you, I'd show you the sleeves in there. It makes a big difference when you go in there and you need to refer to a document about something or another. All right. Exercise, man. Exercise. 100 reps of 135 tonight. Yep. Your boy was pumping it out for you. Not bad for a 43-year-old old fogey, right? Hillbilly from the country. All right. Not too shabby. Be a better you. I put a note here. There's always room for improvement. And I try not to be so self-deprecating that I'm always just like striving for. I have to take a break sometimes and be like, you're doing all right, right? You're kicking some ass. You're doing this good. You're doing this. But what can we do better? And this is kind of something that I look at Kyle specifically as really just a hustler. And I mean that in all sincerity. And I mean that as the best compliment. I really do, because like as a young person, what are you waiting for? Like, are you waiting for somebody to like push you along or kick you along or drag you along? He kind of epitomizes the sense of urgency that I think more people should have. And if you're taking a page out of his playbook, that's what you can take, is the sheer motivation. Where you can get that from his channel, you may not get it so much from mine because I'm a little bit more monotone with my application. I'm aggressive as shit, no doubt about it. Okay. I mean, I'm a fierce competitor, but I keep the YouTube application and my delivery to a point where I can really get through to people. But I tell you what, man, it's super, super important to be kind of critical. What can you do better in your own application? Are you going to jump in and have the energy that a Kyle has to deliver a product the way that he does? Is there a certain product or a project or a special side hustle that you could pursue, right, with a little bit more ferocity? And I'm talking about like more than nothing. You know, if there's something there that you've always wanted to kind of pursue, and give it a shot. Okay, give it a shot. When was the last time you actually tried? And the last thing I will say is you got to eat well. Okay, no reason to do what it is that we're doing with our application here on the Independent Investor Channel if we can't grow old and wise and freaking rich together. Okay, but we got to be healthy doing so. All right. The top 5 things, I'm going to roll them out to you guys, but you're going to have to stick around to get the goods. At the end of the live stream, I'm going to roll out the goods on the top 5 things that you can do for action items in your own personal lives, okay? I really thought hard about these, and I thought, what is it that you can do to actually put some of this kerfluffle that I put forward for you guys into action? Number one, reevaluate yourself. And the deeper you can go in breaking your own ass down, the better. Break it the hell down. Unless you're a statue or unless you're perfect. If you're perfect, that's awesome. I'd love to meet you. I'd love to meet you if you're perfect. That would be interesting. Reevaluate yourself and go deep. If you need to make a list at things that make you happy, make a list of things that make you sad, habits that you wish you could do away with. I'm not your father, okay? But if you can do away with smoking, by God, you have a green light for me to do just that, okay? It's bad for you. It'll kill you. So why don't you just stop? You can do it. You can do it. Read secession statistics online. You can tell that right there is the very mental thing that's grabbing you by the boo-boo all day, okay? And you'll think about other stuff rather than having that cigarette first thing when you wake up, or having that cigarette after the morning meeting, or having that cigarette at the 10 o'clock break, or having that cigarette afternoon, and having that cigarette in the early afternoon because you're getting tired. Sound familiar? Yeah. I used to be there. Figure it out. Okay. You can clear your mind. It'll open it up for a lot more things. I've heard smoking chalked up as this. It's an excuse for weak people. Yep. Think about it. It's not good for yourself. Reevaluate yourself. Number two, set goals and dare to dream. Got to set goals. And as cliche as that might sound, some of you guys might be freak. Come on, Ryan. Jesus Christ. I didn't come here to have you preach to me about goals and dreams, blah, blah. But what is it that you're doing in your life that's actually working for you? Are you in the same rut that you were in 5 years ago? Are you worse off? Are you better off? I don't know. Did you get lucky and you attribute that to your self-assessment and improvement of yourself to happen upon this luck? All right. Set goals. Dare to dream. You only got one shot at this. Okay. One thing that we all have in common in this group is that we all have a finite amount of time on this earth. Use it wisely. Why the hell do you think I get on here and I'm aggressive as hell for every single second to this live stream? Is because we're trying to make an impact. We're trying to make an impact. All right. If you just spilled your tea on yourself, I do apologize. I'm sorry, but you got to pay attention. Number three, you have to adopt discipline. Adopting discipline is like, I actually hate that because it also sounds cliche and you're like, God dang it, Ryan, I'm not a very disciplined person. Give me the goods. Tell me how to actually do this. Adopting discipline is like expecting day-to-day things that are going to come up in your life, acknowledging when bad things happen and being like, well, that was shitty. It's going to happen. I like Tony Robbins. It says, when you get up in the morning, life is going to kick you in the freaking face, right? It's just going to kick you in the face. There's going to be bad shit that's going to happen. Car's going to break down. Somebody's going to hit you. You're going to get into an accident. Odds are that some of us are going to get into an auto accident and, no harm on any of us, but that bad stuff is going to happen. Okay. Health conditions, whatever, blah, blah, relationship that doesn't work out. Man, I thought she really loved me. Dump me on my ass. That goes both ways, right? Because finding that perfect love or the soulmate in your life hasn't worked out the way society has told you it's going to work out. I'm here to tell you that neither one of those are really that true. They're not. Okay. Find somebody that you can be compatible with and happy with for the rest of your life. If you can do that, let's have dinner together. All right. Adopt discipline. Very, very important. When was the last time you thought about your actions? Do you just go to the mall and just buy everything that you see? Do you feel like your spending habits have control over you rather than you commanding your spending habits? Okay. Number 4, you got to seek success and you have to acknowledge the bad. Okay. Don't say do away with all bad. That's not what I'm talking about. Bad shit's going to happen. Okay. I've had all kinds of bad shit happen to me. You ever been on a boat that's on fire? That sucks. You ever been on a boat that's leaking refrigerant? That sucks too. You ever been on a boat that's sinking? Yeah, like imagine you're on your house and it's sinking. It's like, hey, we're taking on water. Let's get this together, man. We got to save ourselves. It's not a good feeling. Okay, um, but with that, you have to persevere and you have to seek success. Okay, this is why we come on and we talk about the investing opportunity, not being so much about I invest in stock and I make money on stock. It has to be more than that. It has to be. Why do you invest? I'm often baffled at the lack of the importance of the answer that I get in response to that question of people. Why do you invest? If you can't answer that, sit back for a second and be like, God dang, Ryan's really jabbing me. He's really kind of cutting me open and dissecting all the crap that's inside me. Don't worry about it, man. Everybody's got the same crap. It's all good. All right. Acknowledge. Okay. How is it that we can seek success in this life? And investing is a part of it. But I gave you my personal kind of application things, right? You're not going to be able to do what it is that society deems appropriate for you, and also seek out an independent investor type of a route. It's not going to work for you. Okay. I expect you guys to walk around with your head a little bit higher. I expect you to walk around like you understand something that the masses don't. Seriously. Because you do. Empowered. Okay. If you haven't understood it in the last 5 years of being with me, you'll understand it over the next 20 years as we continue to foot stomp this type of life evolution and life coaching, not from me to you, but the real magic happens when you can do it for yourself. That's where the empowerment piece comes. If you reach an impasse in your life and you're like, I no longer need this guy, I would have considered that to be a success on the channel, in that you're ready to fly the nest. And I don't mean to be condescending, but a lot of people in this life are effed up. They're their own worst enemy. They need to break their shit down. They need to reassess, man. Like, they don't even know. They just think they're awesome. They think they're perfect. They think they have no flaws, right? Because they haven't done that real, like, just take 5 minutes. Just give yourself a timeout. Sit your ass down and humble yourself, okay? And if I'm helping you get to that place, so be it, okay? And there'll be a lot of people that tune in and they're like, oh, this guy's full of shit. I'm good. I don't need this, man. I'm out. Good, leave. I don't care. See, that's the funny thing about me. I deliver my message my way, all right? Because I know that there's people out there that will not comment. They'll sit back and they'll listen and they'll be like, God dang, he's right. He's right. Maybe I have kind of lived in a rut. Maybe I have been a little bit blind as to how we go about this gig. All right. The last thing is to trust and don't give up. A lot of people want to focus on that 20%, the physical. What can I do? What account is going to give me that advantage? Ryan is M1 the best. What is that stock? Kyle, give me the stock. Matt, I want the goods. Right? Summary, minds and motions in the house. Rebecca, what's the next stock? What's going to get me there? Is Facebook a buy right here? Is General Electric a buy? Right, Ben? Physical. You're focusing on the 20%. And I would venture to guess that a lot of people, you guys included, are spending a lot more time proportionally or disproportionately focusing on that physical part of life and especially finances, and failing to acknowledge how important the mental aspect to this game is. No doubt about it. All right. Hope you guys appreciated that. I'm going to walk through each of those 5 action for items at the end of the live stream. Okay. I'm going to make a point and I'm going to stop and I'm going to cut into that. All right. But I just want to acknowledge some folks in the group. But before we do, I do want to do the portfolio rollouts, because I tell you what, there was like a guys, upheaval, right? Recognize some opportunity cost in the cash and then redeployed, right? People are like, you suck, Ryan. Yep, it's fine. You can talk all you want. I don't really give a shit what you think about me. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. Upheaval. Yep. Get a nice strategic re-entry on the channeling. Boom, boom, boom. Emboldened the portfolio. All right. We added some badass stuff to the portfolio. I kind of got lucky on the big tech earnings. I think it Monday is the verdict is out for me as far as I think finding value in the market right now is tough. I do appreciate Kyle and Matt. I think are both pretty bullish still on big tech as I am. I just am like have a question mark as to how much more runway we actually have. For me, it's like I've got to chew up technology exposure, and I'm not going to own a portfolio without Apple and Microsoft. I'm just not going to do it. Telecom. I'm not going to own telecom. Telecom's easy. I'm equal weight here. I went through and did the weighting on the sectors in my portfolio, and I'm actually equal weight on comms because I can fill it up with Google, Facebook, and a little bit of Disney. I've got a pretty nice position in Disney, but Facebook and Google, my God, these suckers are juggernauts, man. Like I've never seen companies like these. And is it creating an opportunity? Yeah, based on your investor lens, you've got to at least come up with a little bit of a bull thesis. Mine is like, holy shit, look at this company. It's insane. Facebook. There's no company like it. It's really, it's insane what they're doing. I did buy Amazon the day before they announced a potential split. I haven't really followed up on that to see if that's actually going to happen. I saw one article that alluded to that actually happened. So that's probably going to unlock. And dare I might say that Amazon could potentially, from a value proposition, enter into the Dow 30. Why not? Crazier things have happened. Salesforce.com is in there. We've doubled up on that position. But let's talk some numbers, guys. Super crazy, man. I just couldn't be more humbled here. Again, I was $45. I took a screenshot. I'm not even going to show you. But yeah, we're $45 away from that $500,000 mark. But here's how it shook out today. After we gave a $5,000 bill back to the stock gods in the sell-off in the afternoon. Hyliion kind of retracted for me a little bit, and where Hyliion goes is where the portfolio will go for me. These value names, even the high growth, doesn't hold a candle to how fast that company can move. So it's moved off the base, 35% off the base. I'm not holding my breath. We've got some action items over the next year is really going to be an impasse for the independent investor. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I'm like within my risk tolerance and this is great. I'm fine. Shit, I can lose it all. No, I mean, I could, yeah, but do I want to? No, I wouldn't. And I won't make a habit of this. Speculating is speculating. I mean, I look at the SoFi position and the Hyliion, both deep, diligent pieces, and the SPAC market just turned on its ear, right? And even a good company like SoFi, I'm getting crushed. I'm getting murdered. And that happens. That happens in stock market investing, baby. No doubt. Back over 100 here. We added 5 shares of Amazon beginning of the week. Obviously, that position was up $1,000. I did consider taking a swing trading after a week. That's not a bad year-over-year profit, but we kept them, and we'll see what happens. We'll monitor that. AT&T has been good. BlackRock, good. Glad to grab some financials exposure there. Duke and Southern were in favor today. And then the re-entry sold at 393 on Lockheed, re-entered the position at 380. That's just what I do. Again, you can call me stupid. That's fine. Again, remember I said I don't really care what you think. This is truth. This is how it shakes out. And then a smaller position in Leggett and Platt. And my attempt in Duke and Southern to grab utilities were in smaller amounts. 50 shares in Southern, 25 in Duke. So relatively small positions there to keep my utilities exposure to a minimum. Okay, we're up week after week. Roth number one, here it is. We've added back a ton of stuff here. Bristol Myers took a nice spot in the portfolio. Facebook, huge, pretty big position for me, 25 shares of Facebook here, beginning of the week. Obviously, that worked out well. A lot of those gains were given back today. If I'm not, I'm up a few $100. That's it. Not a big deal. I've only owned it for a week, so at least this week from selling it a couple weeks ago, right? Okay. What else? Yep, United Health. That's a new position in here. So I rolled the United Health position out of M1 Finance and I replaced it with Amgen. Stay with me. Dow component, Amgen, is now in the healthcare sector in the M1 portfolio. Took a bigger position in UNH here. So it was kind of like a tit for tat there. Take advantage of the dip and added back Visa, but we added it back in a large position to take up some technology. We're up here week over week. You're going to notice a pattern here, up, up, up. I think the guys do a pretty good job of foot stomping the fact that we're slowly, quickly, I think it's more quickly getting rich. Stupid times in the stock market, man. I'm not complaining. I think it's fabuloso. It's like a cherry on the top. Should everybody invest? Well, I don't know. You be the judge. I'm not here to sell you anything. I don't do that. I don't need to. I know where I'm going, and investing has a big part of it, right? 90% stocks here, 10% cash. Alibaba was a new position later on in the week. Google, 3-share position. Apple, I picked up 25 more. It was a blowout quarter. Expectations high, and they blew out expectations, but the valuation kind of came up. It crept up on them and bit them. And that's pretty much it here for Roth too. Oil's looking good here from a value perspective. I'm overweight oil and I'm overweight industrials. Okay. All right. Here's the M1. This is the ETF portfolio. This was only up about 50, 60, $70, I guess, week over week. Not a big deal. Sleepy money in this portfolio. And this is the one here. I dropped a $2,500 bill into this account to give it a little bit more oomph. I added a little bit of strategy, that of which I will chronicle when I roll out the M1 portfolio on this old girl. But we want to get this up to 25,000. This is an awesome account. Jesus. If you want to talk about how do I do this, Ryan? How? I show you how. I show it to you. There's not a whole lot more I can do. If I'm doing what it is that I'm doing, you should have no excuse than to get out of your own way and start investing. Yep. Yep. All right. The thrift savings plan, I can happily report to you. We're up over 50. So that's awesome. Super stoked on that. This is my passive account. This does not move at all. So good to go. I did enter into a long 8 contracts in Hyliion. It was a 1250 straight call for 2023, actually. That was a nice little element that I wanted to add in there. I think the downside is very little, and I think the upside is very lucrative. So long calls on Hyliion there for 8 contracts. A couple $1,000. What a great way to grab some exposure if you're bullish on the company. If you're not, and you think that it's going to zero because their employees suck, that's totally fine too. Again, everybody's entitled to their opinion. You kind of have an idea where I stand on it. Okay. And the portfolio value. Okay. Yeah. $4.98. So we're getting there. We're getting there. I can almost buy a number 1 at McDonald's with the price of appreciation Can anybody explain the McDonald's quarter to me? McDonald's blew out the numbers as well. I was actually going to double that position and opted not to remain an investor in the company, sought out my discretionary exposure elsewhere with Amazon and Leggett and Platt, respectively. But yeah, McDonald's had a great quarter. McDonald's I've owned now for multiple years. Really nice position, up very nicely in the portfolio. So there it is, man. That's how we're shaking out week over week. Don't expect that these results, that's a 5-6 banger. They're up in every account. I didn't, and we're up 15,500 week over week. That's just passive income. Now, if it hadn't been for the $5,000 bill that I gave to the stock gods at the end of today, it would have been a $20,000 week. So not too shabby. Can't complain. Let's get to some of these comments, man. Start to shout out some of these community members, man. Absolutely. It is nice. It's a life journey. I think the irony is going to be to compare how fast you can get to that second. I think the best one I've seen on an example on YouTube is Matt Money. Matt Money is the best example that I've seen. Gen X dividend investor, obviously, but that's a completely passive. And I have a sense that Gen X is not as active as Matt is. So completely different styles there, but wealth building nonetheless. And they're both very, very good at it, right? For me, I guess it's unique to me where I came from, how I started, how short of a time ago I started. Really kind of just came together for me when I started my career some 16 years ago. That's about where the $1,500 accounts came from. Those are the ones I chronicle on the channel. Those are the lion's share of the wealth. And then the brokerage account, that just metastasized out of the other account. I don't even know how I got up to a six-figure in that. I don't know. I started it probably with 10,000, 5,000, couple thousand. I don't know. I don't remember. It just made sense. And that's what I did. Just like the way M1 Finance made sense. I took initiative. I trusted. I'm a dreamer. Wow. I put a plan in place. I didn't really have any idea of where the hell it was going to go, but I did it. Why? Because maybe it felt right here. Maybe it felt right here. Maybe it was a combination of both. Hell, I don't know. I don't really care, right? When I will look back, I just want to say that I did it and did it hard. Hard. Yeah. You guys are going to like to hang out with me someday in person. We're going to have some fun later on in life. I'm telling you, grow old prosperous, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, Christopher Blaine. I'm telling you, man, that French vanilla ice cream with your maple syrup is to die for. It's like the finer things in life. It really is. That's great to see you, Lydia. Very cool. Is there an M1 link for that portfolio? The ARC one is still listed in the comments. Yeah, I need to switch that, Sean. I kept the ARC portfolio in there for a reason, and I don't think a lot of people use it. So I'll swap that out. But anytime I roll out the dividend portfolio, I share it in the comment section of every one of those videos. So all you've really got to do is go and grab it. But I do not have a new one. I'm waiting until I roll out the new one. So just hang out a couple days. When I'm on vacation, I'm going to try to get some surplus of videos online so I can release them while I'm on vacation. Just keep the continuity on the channel intact. But no, I don't have that just yet. But I will roll that out to the community. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. Alan's in the house. Good thing I had a good 2020. This year's not been great. I hope you're talking about the stock market and not health, Alan. I agree. 2020 was a killer for me. I was very, very opportunistic through the downturn, and hate to say that because it was just a terrible year. Terrible. Financially, it was the biggest ever. I mean, there's no doubt. This is kind of why my goal for 2021 was to reach $500,000. We're just still in April, right? As of midnight. So very, very important to acknowledge how far we can get. I don't know if the stock market does end up popping because there's a bubble. I mean, it makes for a great YouTube thumbnail, but I think you need to graduate to a higher place and understanding that that's only going to create buying opportunities for the vast majority of these great companies, because it's becoming harder and harder to find some pockets of value, but they're there. They're there. I don't make it crazy more difficult than it needs to be. I'm guilty of that, in that you look at my portfolio and it's like, I can't deny Google anymore. I just can't do it. It's very difficult. I've made a fortune with all these companies. Amazon, I've made money every single time, but why not just make it part of the gig? And so that's again the ever evolving application that we work on, and we'll continue to try. We really will. All right. Very cool. Got to keep track of time here so I don't overlap. We got about 25 minutes on the stream. Okay. I'm going to cruise to the top here and get some acknowledgments out. And Dividend Driver James in the house, man. We were talking before, and Chris, man, appreciate that. And thanks again. That was my invention. I don't know. I think we've got $1 million idea. I really do. Loving the Friday nights. Sure. There was a lot to love about that first one, man. I'm mentally tired. That first half hour, I threw it on the line for you. If you dared to listen. I don't know. I keep talking about the importance of physical fitness and all that. I go to the gym all the time. Nobody's there. They're seemingly too busy to do stuff like that because they're busy doing what it is they do. Right. I think in the trenches, people who work, I think we need to be a little more sharp. I think we need to be a little more aggressive, not so complacent. There's nothing to be complacent about if you're poor. So let that sink in. I can't believe I just said that. That was freaking awesome. Yeah. Zelter Investments. I'm doing fine. I'm doing absolutely fabulous. And thank you. I hope we're hitting the mark tonight. Obviously, this was a stream that I wanted to run myself. I do that every now and then, but it's great to see you, my friend. Thank you and welcome. Good shout out for you. My brother is in the house with the fam. Fantastic. Again, I hope you're not one of those folks that spilled your drink or your coffee or your water or something on you. I've made a few mic drops tonight, and I do apologize for that. That's totally fine. My good friend in the balcony with Pepsi. How good is that? Awesome. Pepsi's a beast. Pepsi's a beast. I don't have it in my top 5, but I do absolutely have Pepsi in my top 10. I'm equal weight consumer staples. That's the easiest sector in the S&P 500 that I find to fill. Piece of cake. Staples and industrials are easy. I'm way overweight industrials. Obviously, Hyliion throws me off there a bit, but man, those are easy to fill. What's tough for me in the highest recommended allocation in my portfolio is technology. It is. It's the toughest one for me. And it's the most important, and it's my favorite. So I really struggle with technology. I do. Healthcare is fun. That's easy too, but it's also tough to fill because it's such a major sector. I like to have some exposure, but there's a lot of good candidates there in healthcare. That's kind of where the UNH and the Amgen pick came up. Gilead didn't meet it for me. That was number 3 on the list. Yeah, you guys are gonna like that dividend portfolio. Some of the restructuring. I don't want to give it all away for sure. All right. 1,000 at 845. I don't think you'll see that again. I may be wrong. I mean, we're right here at the precipice of, I don't know if it's a head fake. I don't really know. It tested 11 today. It drew back at the end with the sell off. And like I said, these day-to-day price moves. Did you get a good entry? Yeah, you did. You got a good entry. But what's really going to be the show me moment is going into 2020, latter 2021, 2022, and into 2023. Revenues are supposed to go from non-existent to up 3,000%. And it's going to be that sweet spot of aligning a really good company that's pre-revenue with a very, very repressed stock price that's been a victim of shorting. I know Matt is a real bull of Wish, and the action today on Wish really did speak to that. Like, Wish has a buy rating on it. It's an $8 billion company. And I liked what I saw. I really did. They're making good money. Their business plan and the customer that they're addressing is really, really smart, because the majority of households out there make 75,000, right? So it just makes sense to kind of take that dollar store mystique and put it online. I think it's great. I think it's a very smart idea. I was very close a couple times to taking a strategic stab at Wish today, just from a perspective of spec. But man alive, we're all trying to play this right now, and we're all getting our ass kicked. That's fine. That's fine. We're tough. Well, it'll be fun to see us kind of make through this, and I wish nothing more than just that, to get through the other side for sure. Good stuff. Hey, have fun. Good job. It's not work if you're having fun. I appreciate that. It's just a live stream on YouTube, man. It's all good. It's not rocket science. Just talking to kind folks like yourself. That's all. Passive income's in the house, man. He says, smash that like, man. When Kyle speaks, you do. Smash the like. Smash the dislike, for all I care. If you didn't like my title and it pissed you off, and you're like, I'm going to show you, Ryan, you suck, hit the thumbs down. I don't care. It's awesome. I really don't care. I really don't. Here's somebody who started from me. That this is real. So smash that like, that down button. It'll make you feel better. But I can guarantee people like Tim Tellers are happy. Yep. And it was nothing special. It was just, hey, I want to come on and help people, empower them. Tim Tellers is living the empowered. Yeah. Just cracked 40 this week. Yep. And I told him right from the beginning, I said, man, when you reach these thresholds, come on, and I'll be your biggest champion. Because that type of net worth right there, portfolio values, very rare. Very rare. And I think if you asked Tim, I think he'd probably pull some pages out of my playbook. Man, I thought I had to physically do this and sculpt the Play-Doh in this way and then put it in the kiln and without it cracking, and have it pull out and sit and stare at it really, really hard for days and weeks and months and years, and just nothing happened, right? Investing is not like that. It's much more mental. Mental. We put a plan in place, didn't we, Tim? Paying off. Yeah. The deeper question is, can we duplicate the efforts that Tim put in? Well, you got to be willing to do what he did. And that's something that I refuse to help you with. I'll meet you 50-50, but I won't do 99% of the work for you. Forget it. Get off your ass and do it yourself. All right? I will meet you 50-50. That's fair. That's fair. All right. But I'm not going to motivate you where you need to be motivated. I'm not going to build your portfolio without you fully understanding what's in your portfolio. I'm not going to give you the answers to financial success. I'm not going to acknowledge because you think you're successful that you are. Not going to do it. Okay. Way different message on my channel, man. I won't teach you how to get in and out of your Lotus safely. I won't do that. Sorry. Okay. I'll teach you how to put the right foot forward when you get out of bed in the morning. It's much more applicable, and it's something that the masses can take and put to use tomorrow. Tomorrow. Not everybody has a Lotus. I don't even want one. I would say something that would piss the Tesla community off, but I won't. I'll refrain. I'm on a roll tonight. Hope you're all well. Absolutely. We got about 17 minutes left. I'm going through questions, and then I'm going to get to these, and I'm going to close out the live stream because I feel like I've got a very, very good product here for the ones that were lucky enough to catch it tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for supporting the message. All right. Really means a lot to me. Thank you. I work very, very hard to try to make sure that we're delivering the goods. If you take the time out of your night to come in here and watch me throw down and do my dirt. This channel is not good. That's what I read when I first read it. This channel is not only good for investing, but also motivating to not give up on your dreams and aspirations. Well, I will say this, you only got one shot at this. You really do. And it takes some staring failure in the face and just being like, bring it on, bitch. I don't care. It means acknowledging when barriers are getting there and not cowering down like a pussy and just not fighting. You're going to have a little bit of fight in this gig. You're going to have to. If through this deliberation, you do the self-evaluation that I encourage you to do, and you're done with it and you're like, fuck, I don't have anything wrong with me. I'm fine. Recheck, sit down, and do it again. Because I can guarantee that there's stuff that you can improve upon. Constructively critical, okay? I'm not saying be down on yourself. If you go deep enough, you can probably find those things in the deepest, darkest corners of your mind that you just want to get the hell away from. Do it. Do it. Okay? Because the more you acknowledge and think about those things, man, it's super important. The investing piece is going to be freaking easy for you guys, man. Investing is not that goddamn hard. It's not that hard. Figure it out. Okay? All right? Figure out the routine. Figure out how to aid in your dietary application. Why is it that All Good always has a tea every single Friday evening to catch my delivery? It's because she finds value in it. She looks forward to it. Hopefully she leaves a better person for it. Think. Huh? The daily dose of mental health. It sounds like you're the applicator for that type of thing, but yeah, I think the human interaction is important. I think I do try to strive toward that communal aspect of this because sometimes I think people really, really do just focus on the surface and not go beyond. Yep, I do. Matt says print. There's a cliche that I hate. God dang it, Matt. I would say that the second $500,000 is going to be a hell of a lot easier than the first $500,000. I will say that, right? I will. Putting down that first $500 of hard-earned dollars when you're making $25,000 a year, now that's difficult, all right? Making $15,500 this week after giving $5,000 back today, that was easy. I didn't do anything for it. I put a well-laid plan in place that's got years of evolution, of trials and tribulations, of ups and downs, of multiple profit-taking initiatives, right? It's just good on me for coming and providing you guys some insight to the renderings. That's all, because that's all it is. That's all it is. All right? Very cool. I'm in on Microsoft. It's a good one. All right. I'm going to cruise down here, guys. I'm going to try to... Great show. Hit the thumbs up tonight if you'd like. If you'd like I said, I invited you to, like, if you trip and fall on your way to the thumbs up and you hit the thumbs down, I'm cool with that too. Absolutely. Phenom, I'm so sorry for my mouth, but sometimes the words just have to, because they have to pierce. Forgive me. Yeah, I'm not perfect. I never said I was. Yeah, it's so good to see you, and hopefully you got that worked out. Thank you for reaching out to me via DM. I was ready to rock, help you out. Frame of mind's in the house. Great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Awesome. I'm going to try to cherry pick some of these if I can. It says, blessing them to share. There was some wisdom in there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, David's in the house. Hey, Ryan, glad to be here. We'll do something on tonight. I'm going to have a drink after the live stream. You want to know why? It's because I deliver a better product when I don't drink bourbon. I like bourbon. I like lots of cool stuff in life, finer things in life. I could go down the list of a lot of different things I like, some of which I won't share with you. Lots of stuff. All right? Yeah, use your imagination. I'm happily married. All right. Hello, all. Reynolds Sound. Very good. Well, welcome. It's fantastic. Great to see you. Absolutely. And Dave, who's like my brother, basically. I'd like to get where Dave's at. What do I need to do, Dave, to make my portfolio look like your portfolio What do I need to do, Dave? Well, see, it sounds kind of silly, doesn't it? See, guys like me don't think like that. But I'm actually just glad to know this fine individual, man. Doing great things on his channel, man. Always been a great supporter of the Independent Investor channel. And honestly, I'm deficient in supporting other messages. I get it. I refuse to watch social media. Sorry, it brings me down. And I don't care if it's, you or anybody else. I don't like to spend my time doing that. I spend my time doing crazy crap like this. Trust me. Yeah, I'm a dork, but I love this stuff. I really do. All right. Got about 11 minutes. I'm going to try to get in here. Hate is going to hate. It's okay. It's okay. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Kyle says it's called self-employment floater risk. I don't get those unemployment checks. Yeah, no doubt. I know the chance you're taking, bud. I do. And I'm your biggest fan. I really am. I want to see nothing but the best for you guys. You end up kicking some ass someday. I'm not talking kicking some ass couple 100,000. I'm talking kicking some ass couple millions. That's what I'm talking about. I just wish you guys all the best. I really do, because I love you. All right. Very cool. Got just tons of people in here, but I do want to get to this, and I'm going to ramble through it in my last 5 minutes because I told you I would. All right. Very cool. If you did end up tuning in a little bit, hi, Ashley. How are you? Poke that guy for me. Give him one of these and say I said, hey, what's up? Hey, he's shotting us out right now. Wake up. I don't see Junior in here anyway, man. Yeah, it was a good show tonight. I'm very, very satisfied. And we're in the time of the year where there's not a lot of interest in live streams. Everybody's kind of off the investing. View time minutes are down a little bit. So I have been rolling out some promo stuff. Just grin and bear it on the channel. Hit the thumbs up on those, or thumbs down. I don't really care. Leave a comment. Say hello. If not, no big deal. If you don't want to watch them, don't. However, I will continue to roll those opportunities out. It helps keep us afloat. It helps keep the lights on. And like my wife says, you don't pay my bills. I do. Okay. And in turn, you get the best effort from me every single Friday. I think it's a good trade, right? If we were in Alaska, we would barter. Hey, I give you really inspirational live stream every Friday. Yes, for the latitude to do said promotional video. Yes, agreed? Yes, agreed. It's a good deal. Good deal. Fantastic. All right. Notepad. Reevaluate yourself. Here's how to do it. Number one, your health habits. Number two, your wealth. Okay. We speak about those things, but these are some of the topics when you're going through. These are the 7 things when you're doing that self-evaluation. How's my health? How's my habits? Do I have any? Do I give a shit? I don't know. I used to not. I get it. It's okay. Be critical. All right. Wealth. How's my wealth? Do I even have any wealth? What is wealth? Do I want wealth? Do I not want wealth? If you do, great. We can put a plan in place. Maybe you've never asked the question of maybe it can fit into your life or not. Okay. Relationship status. It's okay. Single. Great. Some people can be happier single than in a bad relationship. Okay. But ask yourself, be honest. I'm searching. I'm looking. I haven't found yet. It can be very, very, very fulfilling. Number freaking 1 on my list by a long shot. Happiness. Am I happy? What does it take to be happy? What's going to make me happy? What are those things that I do in life that make me happy? What are those things that maybe not so much? That'll help you kind of self-evaluate. What are the habits? What do you like to do? What are some of the hobbies that I like to do? And here's the last one. How much rest do I actually give myself? Am I giving myself a fighting chance to be at my best? And I'm not talking at my Kyle best, because that guy, I don't know what he does. If he's like, I don't know. It's amazing. But do I get ample rest? Number 2, set goals. As cliche as that sounds, here it is. What are your dreams and your aspirations? Be honest with this, okay? Sorry, Ashley, I left you on the screen here. Let me try to find you and pop you off here. There you go. That was your moment in fame right there. Do you think about these things often? Right? In other words, like, are you fired up during a live stream? God dang it, Ryan. This is great. I can feel it because I can feel you, and I can therefore, like, I am alive. Ryan, thank you. You've just pointed out that my heart is beating and my mind is racing. This is great. 5 minutes after you shut off the live stream, you're going to go back to what it is that you did before you joined the live stream, right? How often? I'm not talking about being a nutcase. I'm talking about just being deliberate with your application. All right. Spend the ample time getting that 80% fine tuned. Okay. What are the specifics of those thoughts? Okay. Be specific about what it is you're going to do. And it's going to be through the evaluation of yourself process to start to say, wow, I never really thought about that. I do have a couple grand of credit card debt. I'd like to take care of it. Okay. Number 3, adopt discipline. Okay. This is going to be through your deliberation that you are going to actually walk through the mall and not buy anything. Okay. You're going to actually think about the gas that you put in your tank, the groceries that you buy, every expenditure. You're going to go through your complete budget and you're going to look at it and say, I don't need this. I'm thinking about shutting off Netflix, guys. It's stupid. I like some stuff, but it's not worth it. Hulu is a joke. I'm off. Disney Plus, I'm getting rid of it. I don't get it. If I could just subscribe to Mandalorian for 99 cents a month, I would do that. But Disney Plus, they haven't improved their catalog at all since I've got it. I scroll through the same crap and I'm off of it. It's a waste of money and I'm going to do away with it because I've taught myself that social media experience, the 5G connection that y'all are enjoying right now, that's the only thing I need. An internet connection is the only thing I need, a good one. Kyle, you need a good internet connection. Get it done. All right. Identify the short, medium, and long-term disciplines. Okay. Things you can do now, things you can do in the short term, things you can do in the long term. And this is going to be like revolutionary. A lot of you guys are going to be, maybe you cry. I don't know. It's freak. Make it happen. Make it internal for yourself. Okay. Expect the unexpected while you adopt this discipline. Okay. In other words, don't like tippy toe and you're like, man, I'm doing it. I've done it now for 2-3 days. This is great. And then something bad happens and you fall back into that old routine. God dang it. That Ryan, he's full of crap, man. I tell you. Okay. Pay attention for those opportunities because they will come. Life is funny and fickle. All right. Good things will happen to good people. Good things will happen to bad people, and bad stuff will happen to good people. Okay. Just expect it all and you won't be surprised. All right. It's very, very easy to, very, very difficult, but it's necessary to acknowledge the level of discipline that you need. And especially if you don't have a lot of application discipline, you need to acknowledge that as well and start to kind of apply. Take baby steps, okay? Super important. Engage in mental deliberation. I spoke about this a little bit. This is the 80% mental and how much time you're actually spending deliberating on this. This right here, this was really for no other reason than just to do it and make sure that when the dust settled on the portfolio that I was good to go. All right. The last thing is trust in the plan. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to just constantly give you a back massage or just make good. Things are going to happen and it's okay. You have to trust that if your application is hard and it's well-intentioned, it's going to be good and not to give up. Very, very important. The number one person that you need to trust in this life is yourself. Number one. Remember how I talked about 99% of my time is spent assessing this guy right here? Yep. Have relative perspective. The most important thing on this live stream, if you're part of the 84 people that are in this live stream, relative perspective. What does that mean? If you can't deploy Ryan's program and trip and fall into $500,000 next week, maybe you lack relative perspective in that your income is not conducive to making that next week. Maybe it is next year. I don't know. Maybe you make $500,000 a year. I don't know. But have relative perspective. If you're making 25, 30,000, set an earmark of that first goal. That's it. Medium. Leave the long-term goal alone. Say, hey, it would sure be nice to have a $500,000 when I move into retirement because I want to live a nominal means. I'm happy. Maybe I want to get a place next to the beach. Maybe I want to have amenities around me to do my dirt, right? Very, very important to have relative perspective. Not all shoes fit everybody. You've got to make sure that you're taking the little tidbits that I roll out in its entirety and in its intensity, okay? But please understand, it's just my perspective. And there are many perspectives out there, and yours is going to be unique to you. All right, guys, we will be off next Friday. Live stream 9 o'clock. We will be off. I will try to queue up some videos to keep us through, but I will be in the Smoky Mountains next week. Looking forward to that. Well-deserved vacation. Appreciate you guys sticking with me through the totality. This was a hell of a live stream. Probably one that I'll review back. I'm very, very proud of how this product rolled out. Very satisfied. Because if there were some folks out there that did make their way into here, I have no doubt about it that they did get the goods tonight. Wish you guys all the well. Have a great, great weekend, and we will catch you back in a couple weeks here. All right, guys. Thanks so much.